Hi, it's Jeanette, Crafty Dork, coming to you to give you a tutorial on the little journal slash photo album that I made using the tutorial and instructions from KWClement, and she's on YouTube. And if you use the hash simply G45, you'll get to the tutorial, which is Autumn Time Folio tutorial. So that's thanks to Kathy, I've got this tutorial. Now I'll flip through the measurements to start with, and then I'll make the little journal. The cardstock measures 10 1/4 by 7, and you score it at 5 and 5 1/4. That's the inside. The outside page of the folio is 10 3/4 by 7. You score it at 5 1/4 and 5 1/2, and you put a strip of 1/4 inch tape down the middle. The side pockets, you need 2, and they measure 8 by 3. My measurements are a little bit different to Kathy's to suit me, but she does say in the tutorial, you know, sizes depending on your album. So this one is 8 by 3, and I score it on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. So there's 2 of those. Then you have 3 vertical pockets, and mine are 5 3/4 by 4, and actually I cut them down to 4, not 4 1/8, because you can get 4 pockets if you do an A4 in half down the center and half across, so half vertical, half horizontal, and you can get 4 pockets out of the one sheet. Now, depending whether we're going to have little flips or big flips on the side of the inside cover, it's entirely up to you. This one I've made 7 by 4 and 7/8, and that gives you a nice little space here so it doesn't buckle. And that is the smaller one, so that will cover the whole page. And this one is a half, well, a bit over 3 1/2 by 7, and that flips out there too. So I will get now to the making of one. Okay, so the first one I said was 10 3/4 inch by 7, and we score it at 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. The second one is 10 1/4, and we score it at 5 and 5 1/4. You then fold and burnish the score lines. I did that before, and then you have tape down the centre of the largest one, so that's the 10 3/4 one, and you take off your tape. Now, with these 2 folded, you slip one inside the other, and there you have your folder. It's as easy as that. And then I just run my bone folder down the centre to make sure it sticks. You could use wet glue for this. Glue of your preference, really. It doesn't make any difference. I just use the red tape because I've bought a lot of it and I've got it on hand. So that's basically your folder. And now you decorate it however you wish. So we'll do a side pocket. So the side pockets are 8 by 3, and you score a 1/2 inch each end and on one side. Now on the templates I've got little red marks. You cut the corners off. Now I try not to go right on that intersection. I go just below it. And there's some people you just cut out the little square. It's entirely up to you the way you want to do those little corners. So then you burnish your edges, your score lines. And run a little bit of glue just along that bottom one. Come on. Yeah, there we go. And that will just hold that in place. And if you do these all together, you've got, yeah, they're all ready to go, but I haven't done that. So there we go. It also depends on whether you're going to cover everything before you put the album together or after. And I've done both, and it really doesn't make that much of a difference, because if you're going to put a piece of paper there, you can always cut it just that slightly smaller so it slots in there and you've got a nice cover, and then put your paper onto this one. So we'll just put this one down. And I just use the wet glue for this. I haven't had one fall to pieces yet. So, hope everyone's doing well and staying nice and warm. We've had some beautiful rain up here, which our farmers have absolutely loved. And Peter's off with watching the local footy today, as I said. So he's going to Pascoeville, which is over on the York Peninsula, and one of the top teams, and they're it's in a farming area, so they'll be very happy, probably happier if they beat us today. So there's your little pocket there. Now the next pocket is the vertical pocket, and like I said, I've cut these 4 by 5.5. You can do them however you want to do them, and there's no rhyme or reason. You can have the pocket that goes all the way across. You can have just a small one. You can have a corner one. As we do in junk journals, you can just, decorate every page however you want. For this, I'm just sticking fairly closely to what Kathy has done in her tutorial, and on all sides, 3 sides, I've just scored 1/2 inch. Then just cut the little piece off. Burnish. And the cardstock that you use is entirely up to you. I've got a fairly thick one here. I think it's 240 GSM. And you can use a thinner one. I mean, if you're going to be covering it with cardstock, pattern paper probably, so it really doesn't matter. You don't have to cover the whole pages with pattern paper. In Kathy's tutorial, she shows that she's not covered it all, and I really do like that look. I have done some where I've covered the whole lot, and it just depends on the paper that I use, whether I, you know, want to show off that paper to all through the book, or if I just want to have little snippets of it. So if you're putting photos in here, you're not going to see a lot of your pattern paper anyway. You're going to see the photos, which is the main purpose of making it up. So then, as you can see, this is slightly smaller, so I'm just going to center this one. If I had a pocket that was nearly the same size as the page, I would just make sure that you have at least 1/8 of an inch along the edge, so that when you fold your book, it's not going to buckle, and it just makes it a lot easier to fold up. This one I'm not going to cover with paper all over, because otherwise I would have perhaps popped a strip of paper down either edge there. You can still perhaps put washi tape down the edge and flap over, which would look nice on the edge, and washi tape a strip down here just to finish off the fold. That is personal preference. The next thing that I'll do is the flip, and I've got a larger flip for this one. This is the 4 7/8, and we're going to just line it up, and I'm going to use washi tape to join this one up. Now I probably will take this apart a bit later, so I'm just it's just for the purpose of the tutorial. If I was going to make this washi a permanent fixture, I would run some glue along the edge. But you can see that's going to fold over very nicely. And then it folds back over as well. So you've got that bit of room down in here where it's going to give, so that you can fold it. Now I'll pop the back pocket on, and that's 8 by 3, scoring on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. Snip off the corners and burnish. the other two pockets, I'm going to put one here and one here. So I'll just score those up. And they're the 5.5 by 4, scoring at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. I just find that if I keep the scoring at 1/2 inch, I think Kathy does 3/4 inch on her side pockets, but I don't. It really, I'm sure it doesn't matter. It's just not as bulky, I think, but for me, that's. I bought a brother scan and cut yesterday, or the day before. Just a little bit excited and a bit scary about using it, so I'll get to it and have a bit of a trial. I did cut some stamps out, and gee, I don't need the dies for the stamps anymore. Cut out beautifully. So I can be stamping a sheet of flowers and they can be cutting while I'm stamping the next sheet, so we'll see how it goes. Poor old Peter, my husband, he's not another toy, not another one. And he's not a person to just to spend. He's a good man. But he hasn't got a hobby really either, which is, I keep trying to get him to do some, but he is actually renovating our kitchen at the moment, so that's going to be nice. I also have a nice new kitchen. We've got an old cottage. It's 100 years old and it's had a little bit of renovating in its time, but more to modernise it, which was sad. So we're trying to get it back to some reasonable state to look a bit like a cottage again. I don't think we'll get right back to the cottage, but we'll get there close anyway. So just some glue around the edges on this one. And what I'll do is stick this together, show you what it looks like, and then I shall do another tutorial on decorating it. So that one will go in the middle of that page. So we've so there it is, done. 10 minutes and a bit. So that's the inside pocket. Then we've got a pocket here. We've got a flip that goes out, and we can make one to journaling, one for photos perhaps, another one there, another pocket and another pocket. So I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a try. It's so quick and easy. And pop over to Kathy's YouTube if you're not already a subscriber, because she's got some fabulous stuff over there as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with a tutorial on how to cover this. Thanks.